What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog, here to you today talking about 50,000 open jobs in Raleigh, North Carolina, also the top careers in tech right now, and honestly, three things you can do starting today to switch your career over to tech. The reason I'm doing this show today is it's Tech Tuesday, and also the fact that so many people reach out. You got to realize every day for the next 5 years or next 15 years, almost 10,000 baby boomers are retiring. But most aren't retiring to go home. They're retiring to switch to something else. So there's a combination effect going on now where we have people moving out of one career, moving to another. We have moms going home. We want to make sure that people can get into the position that they're choosing. So I brought on my guest, Mr. Chris Johnson. He's an author. He's living the California dream. Talk to us, Chris. Introduce yourself to the audience.
All right. My name is Chris Johnson. I'm from Jumpstart IT Academy. It's basically a platform that I created for new technology professionals and existing professionals to transition into the tech industry. That's something that we focus on. That's our niche. We do a lot of research in that particular area. I'm also an author. I wrote the book called Communicate, Not Communicate: 8 Keys for Leaders and Professionals to Communicate Effectively. It's published on Amazon. It pretty much teaches communication for technology professionals. I pretty much wrote it in a sort of biographical sort of format, so you'll understand you're walking directly with me into these meetings. You're seeing how I communicate with coworkers and other professionals that are in technology, so that you'll understand for yourself how to navigate the tech industry and so that you can thrive and not just survive.
So, with that being said, we have a party crasher coming in. Party crasher, come in and introduce yourself.
Tameka from Women in Linux. Oh, can y'all hear me? I think my
yeah,
mic.
We can hear you.
All right, cool. Yep. I am Tameka Reed from Women in Linux. I crash parties. That's what I do on Tech Tuesdays.
Listen, guys, these people are so famous. I had to be like, please, come on the show. Come on, people. No. I know you're busy and rich. Just come on the show.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And so what we're talking about in the opening of the show, I just opened it, is that there's 50,000 jobs in Raleigh, and I have the articles to show you guys in a second. And then they're talking about the top tech careers right now that are just on fire hiring since January. And then I was saying, what are 3 things people can do to jump on this? But first, let's jump into this first article. It says triangle. I might need to share the screen. That might help. Hold on. Y'all got to realize this early morning swim run that I decided to do is beating me up. It's beating me up. By 5 o'clock, I'm no good.
Swimming is hard.
Yeah, you get out, you be so hungry, be like, what is happening in that water? Triangle employers looking to fill as many as 50,000 jobs, the data shows. It basically TechWire, which again, techwire.com, you guys can look this up for yourselves. They talked about the latest jobs, jumping, and that they added even more jobs than they had before via LinkedIn, via you name it. And so a lot of times people say, what's going on? Let me make this bigger. Bam, here we go. These are non-farm jobs in North Carolina, 4.7 million jobs, right? And so this happened in 2020? Remember we had the pandemic, you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that drop, and then boom, back up. Like right. Stronger than before. So I hope everybody can see that. And so basically they're just talking about this crazy demand they have in Wake County, Raleigh, Durham, and Johnson County. Well, what is that? That is definitely tech jobs. Mm-hmm. A lot of it, when you break down this article, talks about IT jobs, startup jobs, quotation marks, right. And jobs in the RTP, which is Research Triangle. I forgot what park. Yeah, Research Triangle Park. Mm-hmm. And so some of the things I wanted you guys to touch on is like, how can people find out about these jobs? Now this, I'm Googling it, right? But how can a regular person go, is there tech jobs hiring in my area?
So I'm going to let Chris go because I'm late. So I'm going to let Chris go. I know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I would go to some of the platforms like LinkedIn, or even within this article, if you saw there were certain employers like dice.com. there's a lot of different places where you can go, like these, job site hubs where they centralize and report all these jobs and open positions. Because you have to realize that just as excited as you are as transitioning or getting into tech, the employers need tech. They need tech professionals. So it's a win-win situation. I know you might be eager to get them and like where they're at. Well, the same way you're focusing on, hey, I'm eager to get in and where are these jobs at? The people who have these jobs and need these jobs filled, they're thinking the same thing. Hey, I have these jobs. I need to get them filled. I need somebody who's skilled in this, this particular area of tech. Because see, all these people and all these people are pretty much looking for talent and they're competing for talent. Even within this article, you'll notice that they were talking about that there were employers who understood that they were putting out these jobs, but they also had to concern themselves with retention. So they have to make sure that they can keep the employees that they already have. So they're giving them bonuses, and I think they mentioned even unlimited paid time off. Like that's incredible. So that it's a job seekers market right now. So if you're wanting to get in tech right now, I would say post pandemic is in a position like, I mean, it's on fire. It's just like the housing market is right now.
Yep. And to add to that is the job boards, but I also want to never underestimate things like the business journal. So you can keep up with what's going on in the area, in multiple areas if you wanted to. Another one is meetup.com, right? If you search meetup.com for events that are going on in the area, that's going to connect you with people who's having events so that you can go to them. Some are virtual, some are in person. And another one that's often overlooked is Eventbrite. And why am I pointing you to places that are having events? I'm pointing you to places that are having events because there are people there who are having those events. And that means there are potentially people who you can network with that are also hiring as well too. And then last but not least is Twitter, all your social media. Everybody's always posting jobs. They're always posting, hey, we have scholarship. Hey, we got apprenticeships. We have these different things set up for you to get into tech. And it doesn't just have to be just in your area. It could be remote and everywhere else. So, again, utilize all the platforms. There isn't like one platform that is just, the Lord, right? It is multiple platforms that you can use.
For sure. Like even here on Verizon, on this thing, it's like we need a public sector marketing manager. We need a demand generation account specialist. We need unified communications project manager. We need 5G technology marketing manager, marketing recruiter. Like they need a marketing recruiter to do what? Recruit more people. I have a friend who's in Raleigh right now, and he basically said at his job he had to do a lateral move for electrical engineer because they were so desperate on the other end. They were like, please, we'll pay you. So he got a $15,000 pay increase at the same company because they're like, we have to backstop this side over here. And so he's like, well, I don't know if I was going to leave, but now they gave me this money, I guess I'll stay here. And so I want you to understand, even within your own company, even my friends here that are at Dale was like, hey, they're poaching each other from other groups to make better groups. And my friend was like, oh, it's a lateral move. Y'all gonna pay me some money? He was like, man, I can only get you extra 5-6K. And he's like, that's all? I'm not moving. And so like they're poaching each other from within. And so I think
that's super huge, right? A lot of like, especially if you're in a company that's spinning off and doing something new, because you have a relationship with somebody or your background or anything, they'll come get you and then pay you more, right? To work over on a particular product or something of that nature. So it's, again, skill up as many skills as you possibly can and turn those into dollars if you want to keep it honest.
Yeah, and they were texting me, so I was trying to read the text but not give you the other name or nothing in there. Um, you know, uh, Chris, when I tell people just get your foot in the door and then act like you got some sense, because people are laterally moving as well, and also when they go to another company, they might be like, "Hey, I know somebody back at this company that could come with me." Is that something you talk about in like developing your skills in your book?
No, the book is focused on communication, but in the course Fast Track to IT, at jumpstartitacademy.com, that's what I do focus on. I focus on people being very strategic about, first of all, where they want to start. Now,
Mhm.
it can be general, but in a sense, you still want to be able to put yourself in a situation. So you want to think strategically so that once you do get in, you have a pathway. Because one of the main things I would say about 90% of the people that call me for coaching calls, one of the things that I'll ask them a question and then they say, Chris, I need a starting point. And the second question I ask them, the response is, I need a path.
Mhm.
And so what people find is that depending on their skill level, they're going to need to have a starting point that they can, actually manage, because you don't want to start off in an intermediate position when you can't really handle the role, or work towards an intermediate position and invest that type of money if you know you're not really invested in tech yet. So I would say focus on how you can get in convenient to what's suitable for you and where you're at, and find a pathway that you're committed to and you're willing to invest in. And once you get in, you don't necessarily have to have your pathway immediately, but at least you need to be considering that pathway and be very strategic about it, so that you have things lined up and you have a vision and you have a destination.
Gotcha, gotcha. Let me see. Shar in here said AWS is hosting a free conference in Atlanta tomorrow and Wednesday. Free training. Thank you, Shar. Anybody in Atlanta? There you go. Shared it.
Yep. And they also follow them on LinkedIn as well too, and get their newsletter so you can see what they're talking about.
So this is CIO.com. Y'all always ask me where I'm getting these from. CIO.com. The most in demand tech jobs for 2022 and how to hire from them. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and skip most of this right here. Because again, it said out of the survey, 52% say they plan to add new positions this coming year, and 80% say turnover has increased in their company since the last year. To persuade new talent to join and retain current talent, they're offering signing bonuses, cash incentives, upgrading software, hardware, offering perks such as unlimited paid time off and hybrid work positions. So here's the top 10. Okay, make this a little bit bigger. Everybody can see that. Put a one in the comments. Okay.
Yep.
Top 10 in demand tech jobs: database administrator, architect, information security analyst. I don't even know what that is. Software developer, network computer and systems administrator. I do know what that is. Computer programmer, web developer, computer information systems manager, system analyst, help desk, y'all. Don't get stuck at the help desk, y'all. Y'all see these tiers now. It's always about money, but you do see they paying you 40K a year at the help desk. But your top tier is 74,000. But anyway, network and cloud architect. They paying a lot of money for that. Okay, so talk to us. What are these careers, and are these something people would want to start out with, or something they want to learn? How would they get in these?
Okay, so let's ask this question: is let's say somebody's coming from a boot camp,
Hmm.
and it's a web developer boot camp.
Okay, web
Um,
developer. We're gonna go here.
right. So I can see somebody coming out and going down that path, but I could also see that web developer, depending on what they learned,
Hmm.
what particular programming language they learn. I could also see them being a computer programmer too, right? So
Oh.
it really depends on where people getting their start from, and it doesn't. And I wish people will understand. You don't always have to go to a boot camp. There's
Hmm.
nothing wrong with going to a community college. I went to a community college. I went to a 4-year college. There's nothing wrong with starting at a community college to get some credentials under your belt or some classes under your belt. And then the one thing that people don't realize is community colleges have relationships with
Hmm.
other schools. They also have relationship with jobs as well too. So you can easily roll into a particular job where you may do a starting role, maybe you may be an apprentice, you may be doing internship, but it's just easy way to get in the door where you can actually network. Now, when you get in the door and network, what we mean by that is you can't sit at your desk and not talk to nobody. You gotta get up, you gotta mingle around, you're gonna have to smooth a little bit, you're gonna have to take up all the offerings and all the little after parties they may have at the job. You're gonna have to, so you're gonna have to
You
put
gotta do a little work, a little bit
you
of
gotta do a little work, but it gives you the opportunity, and this is what people don't realize is allow yourself the opportunity to make mistakes because it's gonna happen, right?
work.
But at the same token, those mistakes are learning times to learn, and so now you understand how to network. You know who to talk to, who's who has position open, who can hire you, and go from there. But I mean, I want people to understand that you don't have to just go to a boot camp to get started. Another way is you could do certifications, but I'm a mixed bag on certifications. And the reason why, getting the certification doesn't necessarily prove that you have on the job training where
Mhm.
somebody may require that you have on the job training versus you have the certification. So it's a mixed bag. It depends on who interviews you is really how I look at that. Can you pass the exam? Exactly, you can. Can you get on the interview and bomb? Absolutely. So it depends on the job and who you are is really wanna what I want to say. But if you just feel like you got to get all the certs, then go get all the certs. That's fine. That's another way to get in.
Talk to us, Chris. What you're thinking? You see this list of
Yeah,
companies right here. You
yeah.
know.
Can you scroll up a little bit more? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So when you look at this list, like I said, Jumpstart IT Academy partner with CompTIA, and what I'm doing in the next, I guess, bulk of delivery of courses, and I'm putting in the fast track to IT is I've done about 5,000 hours of research, and I'm breaking down the pathways that CompTIA provides. Plus, they have partnerships or partners that they align with, and I've analyzed like nearly all of those major certifications. And so when you look at the database, CompTIA just came out with a Data Plus, so
Mhm.
there's a pathway right there. When you look at web developer, CompTIA came out with where they have software and web development, and they pretty much show you a pathway from that standpoint. In terms of computer and information systems manager, that's usually a non-technical
Mhm.
role, or it could be a technical person who moved into a leadership role. So that right there is more of a, I would say, intermediate or advanced position
Mhm.
right there. You can get into a position like that with certain degrees. You typically don't see people in those leadership type positions unless they, nepotism, favoritism, or they've been in a company for a long period of time, and they're able to get past that degree hurdle. Network and cloud architect. There's a IT network specialist pathway that CompTIA offers as well. And with
Mhm.
the help desk and desktop support professional, there's an IT support specialist pathway that CompTIA provides. And so you can see why I teamed up with CompTIA, because they line up with the problem that I'm solving, which is how do new professionals or new entrants into tech, how do they get in, and how do existing professionals transition into tech? And the reason I like CompTIA is because there's pathways that give them fluidity, so you can shift to go from one area to another. For example, if you started off and you were like, I'm an IT support specialist, and then you get a help desk job, but the environment you're working on is AWS. And so let's say you're working with AWS, but you're also spending a lot of your time focusing on storage or maybe even databases. Then what
Mhm.
you'll do is you may get a couple of certifications, like Tameka was saying, you may get some certifications in AWS, but then specialize in storage. And the reason you can hold off on the specialization in storage is because you're already getting that hands-on training. The reason Tameka is mentioning the hands-on training in the entry barrier of the interview is because a lot of people, unlike myself, I'm not good at tests. So I stuck with 3 certifications my whole career.
That sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah. So some people, they're so good at tests, they have like 10 certifications. Now, certifications, like she said, doesn't distinguish you and make you, the person that's capable of handling a project. But what certification does, it gives you the ability to enter the room. And once you enter that room, you're going to have to prove those skills. Or what I recommend is just be straightforward. I mean, if you're kind of like me, where you need hands on, you don't have enough hands on. This is how I started. I was just honest with people. I said, look, I want you to understand something. This is how I plan on feeding my family. you know, I didn't have all the hands on that they wanted, but I told them, look, I'm going all in on this, and this is the only way my family's going to eat. So if I don't know how to fix your server, if I don't know how to configure that router or that switch, then my family don't eat. So what do you want to do? You know,
Yeah,
and
and
they took a risk on me because I was honest. I was straightforward with where I was, and I
Mhm.
wasn't depending on something external to me like a degree or a certification. Because I walked into an interview and the guy said, "Hey, man, we just interviewed somebody from Boston University, and he had this nice lofty, degree. I didn't have any degree, but
I'll
I
be
had a
like, what that got to do with me?
yeah." They were like, they didn't care because he couldn't do it. you know what I mean? So
mhm,
they didn't hire him, but yet they were looking at me over him.
mhm.
So what Tameka said was very important. I think people should keep that in mind.
And the other part is setting up your own lab, right? I set up my own lab. I do it now, but I'm on the I'm on the side of DevSecOps and working with security and so forth. So I'm always setting up and training and teaching and doing those things. But the reason why I set up your own lab is because now you can actually talk from a hands-on standpoint of like,
Mhm.
hey, I had this error. I had this problem. This is how I worked through it. Here's what I looked up. Here's what I did. So I that's how I actually got my job. It's because
Mhm.
I had my own lab set up, and then I took some classes at school, and then I got on the job, and the guy was like, "Oh, you're gonna have to recompile the kernel." I was like, "How do you do that? That wasn't taught in nothing I did." So he
I'll be
showed
like, let me sit beside somebody's desk. What you doing?
yeah, and he showed me, and I took notes, and so I put that in as my baseline of just understanding. But again, it's setting up a lab, and sometimes a lot of these online platforms already have labs that you can do. So like O'Reilly, with Safari, they already have labs. Pluralsight, they already have labs. IT Pro TV, they already have labs. So if you say I can't afford it, then that's an excuse because some of the classes that pay for these programs are $49 a month, $29 a month. Just pay for them for 3 months and then get out of it. And then when you get the job, have a job pay for it. Like don't let that money be the barrier to entry for you having longevity of making money. And we're talking about making money like they say. I actually had to look this up because people argue this all the time, and they argue this all the time. It's like everybody don't make six figures in tech. So I went and looked up what it actually said. In 2019, they stated 2/3 of the people in tech make over six figures.
Mhm.
2/3. That's a lot of people.
Okay, that's about what was that 60, 60, 40?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a lot of people, right? And that was in 2019. So we can only imagine that the number
Mhm.
has gone up,
Yeah.
not significantly, but it has increased.
Mhm.
So when I hear like, oh, a lot of people in tech don't make six figures, you have to ask questions about who they are and what are they doing and why are they not making that. You have to
Mhm.
ask those questions
Is these
because
help desk folks is what you got to ask yourself.
yeah, because the numbers are saying something totally different. And I got the article. I'll give you the article too,
Mhm.
so you can share it out with folks.
For sure, for sure. Everybody, I want y'all to see Journey to Jasmine. Listen, clearly she wants to donate. Donate margaritas on Journey to Jasmine. I hope y'all take what they're saying seriously. Chris was on the show in December talking about tech sales. I started in tech sales in January. Just got a 5K increase, and I'm up for a 10K increase raise next month. Okay, talk about it. Okay, snap, snap, sneakers.
And
However we do it.
I had one of the young ladies that was in here. She posted. Her name was Kayla. I don't know where that comment went. Oh yeah, she was like, she got her tech career started.
Mhm.
Now she's over 300K in her tech career. And I remember when she was just doing her internship at Yale. In fact, I introduced her to someone to do the internship at Yale, and so now she's over 300K, and that's only been in the
Mhm.
past maybe 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably been 4 years. So again, you know, study up, get your skills up, and let's go. Like that's just is what it is.
No, Jasmine, I got you at the boat party. If you at the boat party, I got you some wine. Um, Let me see here. Y'all got a ton in here. I see y'all. I hear you. Let me see. Someone said I'm studying for the cloud. I gotta start playing with the tools, not waiting until I get my certs. Someone said I just moved to Wake Forest. Okay, I want to learn AWS first. Working on Security Plus. Okay, well, here you go. Here you go. Hey, Tameka, Erica, and Chris. My brother, my brother. I get I see it now. I'm an automotive tech. If I get my Security Plus, do you think it'd be enough to land me a job as a network engineer?
I'm gonna say no, but Chris is the actual network engineer. I know why, but I'm gonna let Chris give you all the deets. I understand because I started in networking, but I'm gonna leave it to Chris for
Mm-hmm.
this.
Well, J. Lou, the mechanic, if you walked into my office, I would say, it's really nice to meet you. Enjoy the drive back. No, I wouldn't hire you. Security Plus is just not enough. Do you have any experience? Um, I didn't have Security Plus. Now, when you're looking at Security Plus as a network engineer, I mean, that's just a small portion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as a network engineer, I have to be skilled in configuring firewalls, intrusion protection devices, all that kind of stuff. I had to be skilled in all that. But that was just like I can hang out with the firewall guys,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not going to pay me as a firewall guy, but I had to be just as proficient as them.
Right.
Okay. So when you got a Security Plus and you've done some labs at home, that has nothing to do with routers and switches
Mm-hmm.
and how networking devices operate in the cloud. So you're missing a whole lot. You're missing a whole lot. And Security Plus, I definitely will hire you for help desk because you're enthusiastic, you show ambition, and you're asking me a question. So I would find a way to get you on board. But I definitely wouldn't put you in a network engineering position because if anything, you need to be in a network administrator position or
Mm-hmm.
a junior network engineer position where somebody like myself could kind of guide you through that stuff so because you got to realize if you mess something up in networking, millions of dollars gone, and that's just it. People would ask me, how could you be a consultant for like 10, 15 years and you got 3 children? It's simple because I looked at networking as like being a gunslinger. I knew every time I went into town, you're gonna see that tumbleweed and who's your best shooter? I'm gonna take him out. You know what I mean? Because I knew what I was gonna do and I knew the risk that I was taking. And I knew that my network configs, everything had to line up. Every single project, you're only as good as your last project. So,
Mm.
so just consider that. I've seen people who are at the top level, top of the shelf, CCIE, and guess what? They didn't understand interdepartmental functions. That's a non-technical skill that you need to understand. He didn't understand it. I talked to mentor him, but he didn't want to listen to me. He came from, some foreign country and he had it going on. So I let him have it going on. And then what did he do? He went to a maintenance window, didn't understand the drama between these people. And one person's encouraged him to do something. He did it. The next morning his cubicle was empty.
Do
So
do do do.
getting into
Womp womp.
networking, no, I wouldn't get you into networking, but understand you got to be ready for that because it's a responsibility and you're not guaranteed nothing. You're just as good as your last meal.
Yeah.
And y'all, listen, come to you. Them tests I was taking, I was like, ha ha. Then I got to one part and I'm like, frozen. So listen, they start off easy, okay, but
Yeah.
then they get a
Yeah,
little hard. So you need more than one to make it make sense, okay? So
Yeah. And
that's
that is right.
to add to what he was saying, so J. Lou, what I would literally go focus on is really start out. This is just my own personal thing that I do. Go find a beginner network engineer job, like a job description, and see what the job description states. Then from there, work backwards and say, okay, I need to go get these skills, and what does it take for you to go get those skills? You can always start out with CompTIA. You can always start out with buying some routers and some switches. You got a
Hmm.
router and a switch at home. You actually got a router at home that you can play with. That Comcast or Xfinity is already
listen.
set up.
I done jiggy rig mine. I got me some free internet.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. you could go in and start learning about like how to set up a VPN, what is a VPN, how to set up different networks, how to set up a DHCP server, how to set up DNS, all that with your home router. Now, my
Mhm.
suggestion to you is to save that configuration so if you screw something up, you can get back on. But again, start with the bare minimum. Start at the lowest level, and the lowest level is what does a network engineer do? What, why did you choose to be a network
Exactly.
engineer, and where did you come with that security plus would lead you to that? Like, how are you
Mhm.
connecting the dots there?
It's like J. Lou must know somebody, and they told him a little bit of it, but not the full thing. So
Right.
you might
So yeah,
Yep.
you
need
got
some
to
more
connect the
pieces.
dots from that. You need a little bit more information.
Okay, well, what comes first, Azure or Linux?
So
Azure, sorry.
yeah, so what they're asking there is the cloud or is it Linux that comes first? I'm gonna say this: if you in any of the clouds that you're messing with, you're messing with a Linux server underneath it.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So if you want to go learn Azure, that's fine. But when you start getting on the command line and trying to understand how to move around, it's gonna be Linux. So you can go either or. They're both will land you a job. I've been in Linux my entire career and I've never been unemployed. So it's either or. Azure is new compared to what Linux is, so the cloud isn't going anywhere. So that'll be something that'll be a long term thing. So again, it depends on how you see yourself. I say learn them both and keep it pushing. Nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
Okay. Right here, computer and coin. Welcome to the show. I'm a registered nurse who worked in tech for over 19 years. Woo! Bless you. The specialty of nursing informatics. What they say about six-figure salaries are true. You have to have
Mhm.
skill set though.
Yep.
Alrighty. Let me see here. Look, somebody already hit it. Yeah, health informatics is big with epidemiology. Um, Sabrina Roberts says, I love Tech Tuesdays. I'm earning an instructional design certificate this summer. And I have two projects where I'm teaching instructors how to teach online. I'm so excited. Congratulations.
And to add to that, CompTIA, I think they still, and Chris, you could correct me. I had the book. It's an instructional book, how to be a better instructor. They had a certification for that. I don't know if they got rid of it or not, but I take good keys out of that book because I'm gonna give you a prime example of why I'm highlighting this. Say for like working with sans.org or even Pluralsight or some of those instructors get paid $12,000 a week to teach those classes, right? So you can imagine, say you work, 6 months out of the year and you're getting paid 12,000 a week,
Mhm.
all right? And you take the other 6 months off.
I
So
can teach tomorrow. Not
yes, well, I'm just putting it out there, like
I'm ready.
like being an instructor, or if you want to look at it, a subject matter expert on how to teach the information goes a long way. And that may be the only thing you do is just teach. And they just put you in a cycle in the rotation of teaching. So
Mhm.
congratulations.
I think this was I don't, maybe I didn't give y'all this article. I probably didn't. This is my last little one because we're saying information technology on there. Let me see. Okay, y'all got a lot of good stuff in here. Rise, the Mom Project has scholarships for women,
Yep.
Google Tech certification. Thank you, Nicole CJ. Okay, coming in with the free 99s. Listen, somebody said I gotta hear him get that. Listen, 12K I can teach this week. Let me put my suit jacket on. I'm ready. Don't know what I'm talking about, but I'll be there. Let me see. Okay, let me go and show y'all this other article because like I keep trying to tell y'all, it's levels and levels and levels and levels into this.
Hmm.
And while we're so this is 20 in demand information technology jobs that pay well. So again, like when we say one thing, people look at it as an umbrella. Um, but there we go. That's what I wanted to do. Hope everybody can see this. IT coordinator, network administrator, IT analyst, systems analyst, app developer. computer forensic investigator, information security analyst, programmer analyst, network engineer, senior IT consultant. Hold on, there's more. There's more. Database administrator, data modeler. That's interesting. Solutions architect, data scientist, DevOps engineer, cloud systems engineer, data architect, network architect, site reliability engineer, and cloud architect. Now, the reason I'm showing y'all these is because I'm tired of getting on the internet. I'm real tired. Y'all be like, I want to be security. I want to work in
all the
cybersecurity.
time.
I'll be like, what else is there y'all can say? Here's a list of 20 other things y'all can say when you talking to people like, girl, I'm glad to get a new job. What you gonna do? I'm gonna be a security, cybersecurity. Okay, well, what you gonna do in the cybersecurity? So, um, any comments on those? Because again, these are like top 20
Yeah,
IT jobs
yeah.
for 50,000 or 30.
Go down to the very bottom.
Okay.
The very bottom, work backwards. So let me give you
Okay.
this. All right. So cloud architect. Cloud architect can fall into the three different clouds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that you can walk in, you can help the customer along with the salesperson, because there's a salesperson on the end of this, actually design and set up their actual product or launch their company or whatever the case may be, as a cloud architect, so that you got your hands on a lot of different things. And you can see that here, right? It's a cloud architect responsible for implementing technical needs of the project into the design of a business cloud structure, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, there's multiple skill sets that you need under that.
Hmm.
However, the best way to really see how people are doing, or what they're doing at cloud as a cloud architect,
Mm-hmm.
is go to a conference. Go on YouTube and look up cloud architect at different tech conferences, and what they're doing. Like, what does a cloud architect do at Netflix or at yahoo.com or at one of the top hedge funds or one of the top insurance companies, right? At Mass Mutual. Like, when you think about tech, stop thinking about it in a standpoint from AWS to Azure to Amazon to Google. There are other places pay money for stuff, and I just covered this on my YouTube channel. They're looking at, there was this stealth startup that was in the Series C, looking for a security person, and they were starting at 600,000, right? So, but what does that take? What skills do you need in order to get that, right? And that's what need to look at. But you need to go to conferences. If you scroll up the SRE, SRE,
Okay.
Site Reliability Engineer.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Site Reliability Engineer. All right, so the SRE, if you really want to know what a SRE does, go to the SRE conference.
Mm-hmm.
It's SRE Conf. They have conferences year round. It's from USNICS. USNICS puts this on. They have multiple conferences about a lot of things, from storage to databases to cybersecurity and so forth. The reason why I'm sending you there is because the site reliability engineer and the DevSecOps person and the cloud architect, they all are at that conference, and
Mm-hmm.
they're all are talking, and including the database person. So that conference is super super huge, because you get to meet people from all walks of life, from fire control people who are firefighters to 911 operators, and how they handle that influx of calls and so forth, down to someone who works on a cruise ship, right?
Which
So
every one of those things needs some site reliability. Every single one of them.
every single one of them. That's
Chris
why
be like, I'm on a cruise ship this year, though. I can't do the show anymore. I'll be like, where Chris at? He
right.
gone.
And so I actually looked up, like I was like, how cool would it be to be a cloud architect or engineer on a cruise ship, right? Like, you literally go out on a cruise ship and handle the servers, because again, you get perks. Because I'm like, I want the perks. I want to be able to travel for free, right? So just
Hmm.
thinking outside the box of where your career and your skill set can take you.
And with all that hacking going on, y'all, they don't need site reliability engineers. Like, like again, I know we want to say cybersecurity. I was like, yes, but there's others on the list. We want to give a quick shout out to Boykin Realty Associates. If you want to spend some of that tech cash on Raleigh real estate, I can help. Boykins, I want to buy some land in Raleigh. Let me know. Okay. Somebody said they just signed up. Hey, y'all moving fast. Okay. Let me go over here. Let me go up some more. Chris, any of these call your name? Any of these
Well,
interesting to you?
what I want to point out is when what Tameka is saying is that you're going to need to get that detailed, granular level information, which is there's a lot of details. If you're looking at these jobs and you're new and you
Hmm.
don't have like 2 to 5 years of experience, you want to go to these conferences and just start asking questions because at this point you're starting to strategize a pathway for yourself.
Hmm.
Like even for example, if I give you a pathway, for example, you say, hey, Chris, I'm interested in this and that, and you say, hey man, I think you'd be a good fit starting off with this IT support, going into help desk and working with some of the cloud stuff, and then moving into cloud and stuff like that. Well, after you did that and you were in help desk, and then you start going to some of these conferences and you look at some of these positions that Tameka is saying, like your eyes should get really big when she said like $600,000. But do understand, we work with people like this. These people are sharpshooters. You understand that? Now it looks good, but you got to know what you're doing, and you have to understand these are multidisciplinary jobs. You need to be just as good in networking as you are in systems, as you are in one of these programming languages. And that usually takes about 5 to 7 years to develop those skill sets. And you could shorten that time horizon if you were going to these conferences and talking to these people and then building up those skill sets by what? Setting up a lab, like Tameka was saying. That's how I built my career. I was at the
Hmm.
house. You
At the
know,
house.
10 years. I spent 10
Mhm.
years. I didn't have a degree. I was at the house doing labs. And once I did these labs, when I got to the interviews, just like Tameka was saying, I can get into these interviews. I can engage with them. I can tell them like, this is how EIGRP work. This is why I use RIP. This is why you need to use OSPF over EIGRP, because I was playing with all these different protocols and networking. So just keep that in mind that these are either top tier intermediate or advanced positions,
Hmm.
some of them, and some of them do have a pathway to them, but some of them are so multidisciplinary that they're just looking at certain people that have skill sets, that happen to have built up the skill sets, and then they give them these types of positions, or they have such strong skill sets in the major core areas, and they can build up these small areas. Like if you got somebody as a site reliability engineer, if you got somebody that isn't really good on a language, but they have all these other domains and they're solid, then somebody will take them in and have them beat that skill up. So just keep that in mind. This is not like you're not just going to jump off the couch and then become a site reliability engineer. You know what I mean?
So what Chris is saying is, if you need some help planning a pathway, book a call, Chris. That's what
Exactly.
Jay Lou said. I deal, and so this is the follow up. You guys'
Oh, good.
response to him. I deal with a lot of network administration, networking systems at work, and I y'all I can't to
It's
take a few IT courses for finish my degree. I thought it would be transferable. I appreciate the advice. I see I got a lot more work to do.
Yes, sir.
So J. Lou, instead of you doing the security plus, just go get a cloud cert and match it up with your networking. That's gonna take you further than what that security plus will. And then if somebody requires that, then you can
Mhm.
go back and get that
Mhm.
and let it be on their dime.
Yeah, because Security Plus is a complementary skill to a networking. You
Mhm.
need to become a networking first. I mean, you
Mhm.
really have that down. I didn't start moving around and I didn't start getting into the cloud until I knew I can configure a Juniper routers and switches. I can configure Cisco routers and switches. I can configure firewalls, whether they be GUI or whether they be, some appliance. Then I started branching off to saying, okay, now I got to master these clouds. But
Mhm.
know the fundamentals of networking and then start moving on to security. Usually you add security after you've taken care of your core.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And I'm glad you mentioned those particular vendors, right? That's the other piece of tech that doesn't get talked about is everything we talk about when we're talking about the cloud. There's still vendor specific, right?
Mhm.
There's
Mhm.
still AWS. There's still Azure, and like you
So
mentioned,
there's
Juniper.
gangs. Mhm.
Yeah, so there's so Juniper has their set of certifications, right? Yeah, so if you want to look at it like that, there are gangs, and some gangs don't work well with each other. Like some people will be like, I don't want to put that watch guard on my network. I want to go over here with Palo Alto, right? So it
Mhm.
depends on some are good, some are bad, right? All I'm simply saying is if you don't want to go down the path of being generic, you can focus in on a vendor, but understand when we're focusing in on vendors, you're focusing in on money too, because those vendors, specific ones, do cost versus something that's more generic, if you want to look at it that way.
Right. So T Sock said, "Oh, basically everything in IT. Pretty exciting. Thousands of jobs on LinkedIn. I just need to find my place while balancing mom and wife duties. Good luck, baby. Good luck. I'll be seeing y'all out here on the gram. The mamas be out there covered in food all day. Agree on cybersecurity. Those type of roles can work in so many fields, from retail to banking to healthcare.
Yep.
Again, letting you guys know, AWS ATL conference is this weekend. Free training if you're in the A. Don't be on TV, don't be on the gram, don't be on YouTube crying about Atlanta being expensive. There is opportunity.
What's expensive? What is expensive these days, Eric?
I can't with the people. Everything's expensive. They had to pay $5 for coffee. It's too much. It's been $5. It ain't never changed. All right, let me see. Y'all talking about home labs and all kind of stuff. Thank you. Thank you for joining a new member. Let me see. Cloud Guru for labs. I don't know what that is, but okay,
That's
yes.
a platform.
Got you. IT is a continuous learning career. It's not one and done skill set. Facts on facts.
I call it skill stacking. We stacking skills one by one from uh, working with data modeling or AI, machine learning, edge
Hmm.
computing. You're stacking skills, and it's the other thing too that people need to realize is the more skills you stack, the easier it becomes for you to choose jobs where somebody call you, you
It's
can
super
say,
full.
yeah, I'm not. We're full. I don't have the capacity to do that job, or it don't pay enough. You know, the leverage that you get is super important when we're talking about skill stacking.
Thank you guys. This is John Ditska said, "What are the certs for Twitter? About to be a lot of job openings."
So go to indeed.com and look up and type in Twitter and see what jobs come back because there are a ton of
Interesting.
jobs that are at Twitter.
Okay. Well, y'all got a lot in here today. Y'all juicy today. If we were talking to a kid fresh out of high school, what route would you advise them to take to dive in tech? Ooh.
I'm gonna let him go. You already know what I'm gonna say.
Chris said I got all these kids out here. I got 6 kids out here in this California. They all got to go to work today.
All of them getting certifications. We're gonna build a tech company out here. So what I would recommend is start. I started teaching at colleges in 2003, and I started teaching A+ certifications.
Hmm.
And the reason I like the A+ certification is because it just gives you an understanding of systems, and it'll go a little bit into networking, a little bit into storage. It'll go to a little bit of all this other stuff just to give you an understanding about interconnectivity and how things are functioning and how other technologies segue into other technologies. So I would recommend a CompTIA A+ just to get a start, so you can kind of see, is this for you? Is this because for me personally, I was totally excited teaching a course.
Hmm.
I know it gives a solid foundation for people who are entering tech. And if you find that you're yawning and this really isn't something for you, then you can say, okay, maybe I need to consider doing something else. But I know CompTIA A+ is a good starting point. This is how I started tech professionals 20 years or whatever, 16, 18 years ago. And this is the same thing I recommend today.
Yep.
One day, Chris is gonna make me a website too. I'll be like, this gets fancier and fancier. I want to do this right here. I need a wall of comments. This is what I need. Just a landing page where it's just wall of nice compliments. So anybody in the chat, build your portfolio. Let me know. Anyway, this is Chris's website, y'all. The Jumpstart IT Academy. It's in the description. I don't have his book up here, but y'all already know. Let me see. Y'all have some more in here and y'all gonna wear me out today. Let's see. This person said I was gonna look at Indeed. That's what I was gonna do. I was looking for positions at Oracle and stumbled on some Oracle certifications. I'll be putting a few hours after this live for my Oracle Cloud cert. Oracle everywhere. Them guys be wearing shirts and everything here in Austin.
Let me give you some insight on Oracle. I'm breaking down all these certifications. Oracle I put on hold because in
Mm-hmm.
June they're going to redo all their certifications. And
Oh.
she said, certifications can be a game,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't let you know when stuff is going down sometimes. And if you invest money in this certification, it might expire. So just keep that in mind.
Now, what'd you say, Tameka? Go on Twitter and go leak on Indeed and do what?
Well, just get rid of Austin, Texas, and type in Twitter, and then just hit find jobs.
You're gonna put remote.
Just find jobs. Just hit it.
Just hit it, baby.
Then
Okay.
then scroll
So there's
down.
132 jobs.
Right. So now when you see that, right, you see survey analysts, and I'm just saying these give you an idea of like what is available at Twitter. Then you can break this down into location, whether you want to be remote, whatever the case
I
may
like how
be.
this is in Miami. Look, brand new. See, the office was in New York, San Fran, but then they went Miami.
Right. So now you get a chance to see one where they're located at, and now you also get a chance to see what the jobs are, and now you can look that up in terms of like what your skill sets are and what you would like to do at Twitter.
Okay, y'all, I'm gonna click on one just to kind of reverse engineering. This is something I talk about when people say they want to do something in 5 years. Okay, well, what's the plan look like? I saw it. Okay, this one, the one in Miami, digital performance ads. Okay, it's
Mm-hmm.
full time. All right, got some benefits. Go down here. Okay, so you'll be working closely with sales, product management, product marketing, and global ads performance to grow Twitter's performance advertising solutions in your region. So it must be the like Miami region. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this one is. I'm
But
gonna keep.
if you
I'm looking
scroll
for the
up,
skills. I'm looking for the skills.
it kind of says it right there when you're looking at it. That's the background they want you to have, right?
Hmm. Yo, they ain't got nothing. They
They
don't need
do.
no skills. You just need your person.
Right. So what they saying there, if you scroll back up where it had the degree at, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
right. Preferred, my butt. Get out of here.
prefer, but scroll up right here. They're saying speak English, motivated team player, consistently strive. If you keep scrolling, you got the banner up, so I can't see all of it.
Oh, hold on. Sorry.
There you go. Yeah. Ability to think creatively and critically, communicate fiercely, but with empathy to thrive, fast paced, so forth and so on. And then up above that, they give you like an idea of what the day to day is,
Hmm.
and who you would interact with. So that's the other thing too. When
I
you're
read this part right here: mobile app promotions and web, digital
right.
performance marketing. Like we could get some of that from some
Right,
certs.
and that's the other piece too about these jobs is being able to ask who you interact with, because you need to know what other teams that they have, and what is your team, who does your team interact with,
Hmm.
because now that gives you some insight as to is it a one of those things where the team is like a global team where they're interacting with multiple people across different
Product
time
teams,
zones. Yeah,
right
and
here.
then
Partner
and then
closely with product teams.
yeah, and then two, it gives you some insight as to what kind of skill sets that you may need that you can go get real quick. But if if you're an introvert and you gotta be talking to people all the time, that might not be the thing for you, right?
Hey,
You just
tell the
gotta
truth.
know these things.
Hmm. This one's permanently remote in Austin. Let me just click it. No, messing. Survey analyst, people analytics. Okay, so this person right here, it says You'll be immersed in all aspects of running a large scale to small scale survey programs, all the way from design and configuration to reporting and stakeholder support. That means what, you guys? You'll be developing it, putting it together, and also telling it to who? Stakeholders.
And those
AKA
stakeholders,
Elon is going to sit in your face and ask you for these surveys.
those stakeholders could be internal and external, right?
Mhm.
Internal to the company. They could be external to the company as well too.
Mhm.
And they got it clearly laid out, like tool management, data wrangling,
Mhm.
access permissioning. Like they kind of laid it out for you.
Yep.
And
It
so,
says experience using survey tools, Survey Monkey, Google Forms, Glit, and Medallia. Y'all,
mhm.
I use Google Forms and Job Form. I can get this job. I'm gone. Out. Peace out. Um, I love how they use these terms: double barrel, reverse scored, random, stratified. Y'all know how to do surveys. Just stop it.
Right,
This ain't even
right, and go back up right there. Those three bullet points right here. Develop, collaborate, feedback.
that part.
Anytime somebody got something in bold, you should mention that in the interview. Like,
I know how to develop and collaborate.
yeah, I develop on the current job. We collaborate. We have a feedback loop. Right. These are things. These are key words that they're going to be looking for in the interview, and also behavioral as well too when you're doing your interview.
Mhm. This was someone said, is the PMP useful for getting into tech project management? I've led multiple project teams that came up with agency wide systems.
I would
Yes and
say
no.
I would say PMP. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good if you've already got experience. I know I never got a PMP, but I was a project manager for a very large company. They allowed me to blend the role as a consultant to be a network lead and project manager. And so I managed the networking resources, plus I interface with the leadership for the project management piece.
Yep. So I'm gonna say yes and no on that. You can get the PMP to again to be a project manager, but there's also product manager, and then that's also Scrum manager. So, where are you trying to go in terms of management? Because it sounds more like management and maybe overseeing projects and maybe overseeing people possibly, but that could come in so many different roles in tech, from a scrum to an agile coach to agile. I mean, there's just different thought processes there.
for sure, for sure. Uh, they said learn code and go build the next unicorn. Okay, this person said currently doing an Azure training and exams that is offered at my job. Taking Azure, I'm just saying it that way. This month, Azure Security next month, both free. Already marketing my skills for 1099 C2C opportunities for my biz. So, what's the difference? What is Azure and how is it different from AWS?
One is Microsoft and one is Amazon. All right, and then there are
Yeah,
uh
She
you
said it like it's Android or Apple phone. What you want?
I mean, this what it boils down to. I mean, there are certain services in Azure that may work better for someone versus some certain service inside of AWS that works better. But the question I would have on this particular uh, statement here would be, how much are you going to charge the customer? What is your worth? How do you see yourself? How are you structuring your business? And do you already have clients? Those are the type of things that I would be asking. And do you know any of the other clouds so that you can talk about them when you're having customers, because customers will come to you and say, well, we're in AWS now, and we want to go to Azure. What is equivalent over here or should we keep this part in Azure or keep this part in AWS and put this part in Azure? So it'll be a multi-cloud or a bi-cloud, if you want to say it that way, type of setup. But again, those are the type of things I would be asking.
And to
Yeah, we
segue
gotta
off of
go
what
ahead.
Tameka was saying, she's pointing out integration points are migration. And so
Mhm.
if you specialize in one cloud, you need to have a general understanding of the other cloud functionalities, maybe even just the fundamentals, so that
Mhm.
you can interface with clients and understand where integration points are or migration points where they might want to migrate over or they want to integrate for certain applications or platforms.
Hmm.
All right, and the last two super chats, we're gonna read them out. Sharon S. What pathway slash certa would you recommend for working with beauty industry, fashion, etc.?
That is an engineering cannabis question. He's in the chat. Um, I am not from. I'll say this. Let me give it from this perspective. I'm not going to say I'm not familiar. What I'm going to say is, I've seen a bit uptick in the fashion industry around NFTs and also around crypto. So that's just another aspect, but I'm not sure on the as far as like I don't want to say I'm not sure. I want to say I look at the fashion industry and any type of like a watch or your glasses or something like that. I look at that as edge computing. That's just me because you're always getting
Edge
data in.
computing.
Yeah, well, you're
What's that
always
mean?
getting data from your phone, right? Your Peloton,
So it's
even
edge
edge
computing.
computing.
Uh
So
huh.
so when I'm talking about that, like your phone, your device, that's an edge computing device. That's really the whole thing is to get in the fingertips of the consumer.
Hmm.
I'm doing AI at in that phone. I'm doing AI on your tablet. I'm doing AI in the car. I'm collecting
Gotcha.
data at the edge. So that's edge computing. So that when I think of the fashion industry in that sense, if I'm running, I have some type of stats, something in my shoe that can collect data on how I step or how far I ran or something of that nature to do an analysis on. Well, for the week you
Fitbits.
yeah, well, Fitbits, but just think about if you could have something in your shoe that could tell you that every time you run, you're planting your feet over, under, or what have you. You're rolling
Hmm.
your foot as
Flat
you
feet.
run. Yeah, your flat feet. So this shoe may not be optimal for you. We have some other suggestions, and I deliver that to your phone.
Listen, y'all. Woo. Y'all be in here taxing it. All right, we're at an hour, so I'm gonna read this last one. We're gonna kind of close it out. It says, "I love Tech Tuesday, Financial Hawks. Thank you, Financial Hawks, for the $20 super chat." Listen, you guys. We crammed a lot of information and data in that time segment, but it's because I want you to stop emailing our office questions we don't know. As you see, I brought them on. You can technically email and reach out to their staff at any time you like. Okay, anytime you like. All right. So again, Chris, we have Chris's information in the chat. We also have it in the description. We have women in Linux in the description. If it's not in there, I'm gonna make sure it's in there. These are the people to ask the deep dive questions on what you should do, where you should go. These are the people right here. Listen, 20 years. And what, you did the military for 20 years and then you did tech for 20 years, or what was it? I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to make you older than you are, Chris.
Oh no, I did the military for 6 years and I've been tech for like
Okay.
20,
Because I
20
was
plus.
like, man, he looked real young for 60. No, he
I
looking
started
real
off
young for
as a
50.
teenager. That's why.
Yeah. So I went in and got out. And then Women in Linux, you can catch her on, tell them everywhere on the social media where they can find you.
Women in Linux all across social media. We are on every Saturday where we do tech stocks and jobs, where we talk about the tech behind some of these companies, the jobs, how to invest, and then we'll
Hmm.
also talk about where do you go get Where do you go get help, and where do you find the jobs? And also, how do you get the skills in order to get the jobs? So we do that every Saturday, right? And again, we'll find us on social media at Women in Linux, including I gotta finish setting it up, including OnlyFans.
No, not the OnlyFans. Not the OnlyFans. Lord help us.
Hey,
Miss Rainy.
OnlyFans. Hey,
She said
OnlyFans.
I she said I need all the coins. Tell her
OnlyFans
to
is
get it.
not just for what people think it's for, right? It does other things. You can do other things on OnlyFans. You can pour coffee. I
You
mean,
can
they
cook
have,
food. You can do whatever you want with your
yeah, they
shirt
have
off.
ASMR on YouTube. Like, you gotta use all the
Did
platforms.
you didn't even hear what I said?
I heard you. I heard you.
I'm messing
I
with you.
heard
All
you.
right. This is jumpstartitacademy.com. Check out Chris. He's here with his shirt on and he's teaching and he has his consulting links here. He
That
has a free
I
course
know
about
that.
10 myths in the IT academy, IT industry. I'm sorry. Here's coaching. Here's his courses. She got me all gone. I'm like, what? I'm like, he said OnlyFans Tech Edition.
Hey, that'll
That's
wake
what it
you up.
is. That, so, all right, you guys, listen. This is your girl Erica from the Classic Clown blog. I'm getting my good laughs in. You guys, check out our whole playlist on Tech Tuesdays. I updated the name to 2022. We've got probably over 50, 60 videos in there where they've come on and, excuse me, I apologize, educated you guys, talked with you guys. They know their stuff. Get in the game. Don't let this economy, oh, everything's crashing and falling down. Everything's, listen to me. Y'all go get y'all coins. Half the people that are in this group I'm in, this other group that builds houses, every person in there is an engineer. They're doing this in their off time. They're building a single family homes and multifamily homes in their off time because they have so much money and they work remotely.
You gotta have a
So,
tax shelter, right? That's what we talk about on Saturdays is these different tax strategies and tax shelters, right? Because you make so much money, you gotta have somewhere to put it. And why not have your money make money while you sleep? Right.
mhm.
So again, you can sit on the sideline, and I hate to be the person that pitches this, but stop telling people that it's only so many people that can make there's only so many people that make 100,000. I'm still looking for the law that says that you can't make more people that make 100,000 or more. I'm looking to see where that law is at. I've never seen the law. Let's get out here. Let's make our money, and let's invest
And
and build
really,
wealth.
y'all, it's the power of 10. Chris doing the job Chris done, his children now can see someone exposed to someone who's done that job. When people turn and watch these videos, there are brown
Mhm.
people all over that do these jobs. And so we can't say it's a lack of exposure. We're completely being exposed right now to this opportunity in this field. So I want you guys to reach out and touch them. Reach out and touch them. Chris, where can they find you on Instagram?
You can find me at Jumpstart IT Academy
Hmm.
and also on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to Jumpstart IT Academy, and
He's been throwing some
look
YouTube
forward to
videos up there,
engaging.
y'all. For sure. So, all right, you guys, this is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. I am always blessed with your presence. I had to hit the sun angle here. So, listen, you guys have a great day. Thank you for joining me on Tech Tuesday, and I hope to see you guys soon.